Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? We will give it a few minutes to let everybody get in here. I'll do a quick roll call. I've been saying hi to some people. We got Pistol Pete in the house, Dennis Buckner, Lynn Holt. We got Juan, Dirt Track, Lake Ozark guy. Let's see here. Let me clear this real quick. It's in my way. Rich B, Chris from 740. He'll have his chat after mine, so y'all can tune in. Dennis saying, Big J, that was a sweet revolver you posted. I've been thinking about buying one for about a year now. Yeah, I've had that one forever. It was, I think it's a 1989 model. Pretty sure it is, and that is a 357 Magnum 27 2 2 27 2. So that is an old one, but it's in pristine condition. What's up, Bald and Curious? How are you, man? I own revolvers. I just don't really shoot them. I shot that one a lot when I was younger. Um, but I mean, I've got 357 ammo and 38 ammo. It's just, I don't know, they're just not that fun to me anymore. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate y'all for being on. We got us a little full glass here this evening, and I don't drink a lot. I pretty much only drink during the chat. I'll have a drink. Hey, Milkman, how are you? Yeah, one thing, JB, y'all know who I'm talking about. He went up to go see his buddy, probably to drop off some more money in the Ukraine, and hasn't bothered to go see all the gracious people in Ohio. Just pretty much ignoring that whole situation with all the climate change and everything. Doesn't seem to concern him. However, a gas powered car, he'll throw a fit over. Um, but yeah, going off to drop off our deposit and doesn't even worry about seeing the people that had that major situation happen. You know, like I said, I don't want to say too much because I'll probably get booted off, but y'all know where I'm going with this. So take care of everyone, all the other countries except our own. I am drinking. What is it? Tonight it is 40. No, what is this? I'll think of it in a minute. Sorry, I guess I should have written it down. I've got a. Y'all have probably seen those bar carts. I've got a bar cart with a bunch of whiskeys and stuff like that on it, and it's one of my go-tos. I actually really like it. It's not expensive. Um, I'll think of it in a minute, but it is very good. Oh, yeah, Bald, you got to watch that. Take care of yourself, man. Believe it or not, my blood pressure is actually pretty good. Hello, reloading from the hot pot. How are you, sir? Yep, 10%. We all know it's more than that, though. That is true, Rocket Man. How are you? That is definitely true. I mean, what was the whole point? What's the whole point of going over there? Seriously, I don't get it. Hello, A Dubs. How are you? Lynn Holt says, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Mr. T visited there. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. Yep. And you can't tell me they're not going to have a problem after that chemical issue. Yeah, drink the water. Mm. I mean, they're already having people with respiratory issues and everything in that area. I've been doing some side research on it. It's not good. Pistol Pete said, I used your discount code on a core belt. Awesome, man. Let me know how you like it. I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but I love them. Hell, there's one right here. Can y'all see that? Little special buckle they made for me. Woohoo! Yeah, I love these belts. Every day. Right now, I got my play clothes on, my comfortable clothes. Dennis says, didn't he pledge more green to them? That's our green. Yeah, that's our green. And we all know yellow and blue makes green. I've said that numerous times. Yep, I saw that too, Rocket Man. Yeah. And also, there's another video floating around. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it's dark on the tarmac, and somebody's actually coming down the stairs, and they fall. They haven't proven it's him, but who knows? Screaming Skull Saloon, how are you, man? Says I have been wearing core belts for years now. Love them. Yeah, I'm really into them. I was watching your video on the bathroom tactic. That is 1000% true. I didn't make that up, Pistol Pete. That is something that I do. I just release the belt to where it doesn't come apart, and it can slide down like a hula hoop, or you just move your gun over. I don't have to take my gun off and handle my business. So that is 1000% true. The whole point of U.S. Involvement in Ukraine, it is a favor to getting his one correct kid son a job. Yeah, man. Hey, Floridian, how are you? I hope you're doing well. But what we were talking about tonight is, and I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but situational awareness. I'm out in my surroundings, looking around, and what really brought this up is it wasn't yesterday, day before yesterday. I was driving through a parking lot pretty slow, and I had a stop sign in the little parking lot. It was through a shopping center, and started pulling forward, and this person just walked right off the curb, staring at their phone, literally into traffic. Now, I wasn't going fast. The other car wasn't going fast. Never looked either way. Just started walking. I had to hit my brakes. They had to hit their brakes. I honked. I'm like, what the hell? This person's like, oh my gosh, I mean, I could have ran over them. They could have been ran over. I mean, they could have been mugged. Anything could have happened. People do not pay attention to what the hell's going on now. And I've seen literally people walking out to their cars, and there's a group of people around cars and stuff like that. They're just walking out to the car, staring at their phone. I mean, they could be abducted. I mean, anything could happen. Um, get carjacked. They pay, and I'm not saying young people, old people, whatever. It's just this whole situation now. People are so glued to their phones, they're not paying a bit of attention to what's going on around them. So, when you walk through a parking lot or you're walking through anywhere, I mean, you need to be looking around at your surroundings. If you're walking to a car, you need to see if somebody's laying under the passenger seat. Because on some cars, when you hit the unlock, it unlocks both doors. So you could be getting in and they could be getting in with you. Um, you just don't know. I mean, I program all of my vehicles to where I hit unlock once, it's only the driver's door. Hit it a second time, it unlocks all doors. And you can program 99% of vehicles that way. But some of the dealers, they'll just program it to where you hit it once and all the doors open. So, if you're concerned about that, go to your dealer and they can program it. Hopefully they won't charge you anything. It takes literally 2 seconds to do it. Plug the computer up, switch it over. And some you can even do it with your own car. You just sit in there, go through your menu, and you can say unlock all doors or unlock passenger door only. It's super simple, if you've got a more modern car. But or you can put your key in it and unlock the one door if that's what you have. But it, I look around and I'm like, good Lord. I mean, it just blows me away that people just are so naive to everything. I don't understand it. But it is what it is. They pay attention to the Kardashians. Whew, man. The phones are an addiction. I wish it would be talked about more. It's pretty sad. It is. I mean, if you took a phone away from a young person, even an older person, sometimes they wouldn't know what to do. They'd lose their mind. It becomes like part of their body, and sometimes it's not a bad thing to just leave your phone setting down and just be away from it for hours and hours, or half a day at a time if you can. And I understand with work situations, sometimes you're wired into work and you're on call and this and that, but man, it is definitely an addiction. It is a woke world for sure. But I was just thinking about that after I saw that, and I mean, I honked at this person, and they were like, "Holy crap!" Like I drove up on the sidewalk is how the guy was acting while he's walking in the middle of the street into traffic. Um, I was just like, dude, pull your head out of your butt. You're going to get yourself killed. And I've seen, parents even just let their kids run out in the damn street in parking lots, because they're playing with their phone or doing their TikTok shit or whatever they're doing. But all right, Floridian is saying, put that farm display back in the background. I will. You're the only one that's been asking about it. But if y'all want it, if y'all want a rifle or something up there, I'll throw one up there on the tripod, or maybe on that table that you see right over there. Maybe I could start putting some cool other pistols and stuff out there on displays on those lock grip stands. If y'all want to know, if y'all want that, let me know. Leave some comments if y'all want to start seeing some stuff like that. Yeah, we're all guilty of it these days. We all need to take a break from our phones. I agree. Hello, Rich B. Completely a newbie when it comes to rifles. Help me out to understand what the term pinned and welded means. Looking at Sons of Liberty 13.7. Okay, pinned and welded means, all barrels, if you're going to have a stock on it, a stock, not a brace, a stock, needs to be 16 inches long for the barrel length, as they say. So it's not an SBR. So what they'll do is they'll take a 13.7 barrel, and then they'll take the bird cage, whatever it is, A2, a Knox, whatever it is on the end. And basically, you got a 13-inch or 13.7-inch barrel, and then the muzzle device is, say, the rest of the distance for a 16-inch, and they will pin it. So it's actually welded with a pin. It has a drilled through and has a pin in it. So now it's a total of 16 inches long. So whether it be a muzzle device for a suppressor, or if you can't have a suppressor in your area, it will be a muzzle device, like an A2 bird cage, something like that, to equal 16 inches. So that's very common. A lot of people do it, or a lot of people order it that way. The only thing that I don't like about it is you're stuck with that one muzzle device. So if it doesn't fit your particular suppressor, you have to buy a suppressor and wait for it to fit whatever adapter they're using. A lot of popular ones are Surefire adapters, Knox, Dead Air Mask, or excuse me, Dead Air. A lot of theirs are set up for it. So it just depends on which suppressor you want to put on it. Some people never run suppressors, but that makes it the legal length of 16 inches. Hello, Maikai. How are you doing? But you've got that. So definitely keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings, because there's some nut jobs out there. We don't want anybody ran over or carjacked or any of that kind of crap. Especially in your phone, in your car, when you're driving, and you stop at a stoplight, there's people standing there on the street corner or whatever. Just be aware of that. Don't be start playing on your phone. Also, I had this question asked again, actually by two people. So I've been getting a lot of, and it's probably because of my videos, because I've played with the Staccato CS. I own the C2 also. People are like, well, should I get the Staccato CS or the Staccato C2? And I've said this, but maybe they don't tune into the live chats. But people who are thinking about those two guns, it goes back to what hand size you have. Not that the C2 is too big, but the CS is a little smaller in the grip diameter and it has a shorter barrel. Not that that matters because the barrel is going to be down your pants, but, or in the side or the appendix, however you carry. But the grip circumference is a little smaller on the CS. But one thing to be aware of, if you have larger hands, when you put your left hand on there, or excuse me, you've got your right hand grip, like this on the grip, on the pistol grip, and then you put this hand here, your left hand on that grip. The CS is smaller for the extra grip to not impede with your fingers on your right hand. So if you want more grip for both hands and you have larger hands, I recommend the C2. If you have medium to maybe large hands, I recommend the CS if that's what you're looking for. The only thing, and I keep going back to this, if you end up liking the Staccato a whole bunch, okay, or you like the CS, the mags are not interchangeable with the C2. However, if you buy the C2, that mag is interchangeable with your P and your XC and your XL. So that is a true 2011 mag. The CS has its own proprietary mag, which is smaller, kind of like think of like a shield mag for a Glock. That's similar to what it's like, that mag. So, and if supposedly they're going to have different generations of the CS, but they're still going to be the smaller grip. And it could have one with a comp and it could have one with a threaded barrel and things like that, but you're going to be in the CS family. But when you go to the C2, then you can put the long mags in your C2, etc. So just something to think about. Both of them are fine. They both shoot fine, whichever one you think about wanting. I would say if you're going to invest in other 2011s, then get the C2. All right. Pistol Pete saying a lot of people oohing and awing over the Canik MC9 right now. Not sure if I would try one. Yeah, I mean, I've got a buddy who has one. Y'all know who he is. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not into that small of a gun. If other people like it and other people want to roll with it, hey, do it. It's your call, but it does absolutely nothing for me. No Floridian, I haven't put any of them up. I haven't really been to anywhere that's super exciting right now. Still in the job search, so hadn't been running around film any of that stuff. However, I do have some stuff, and I'm going to talk about it that I will be throwing up on the channel. So we'll get into it here in just a minute. Brian is saying, get to watch my youngest daughters out until Sunday. He's such a great puppy and love watching him. That's awesome, Brian. Yeah, I'm definitely a dog fan. Got a couple myself. Hello, William. How are you? Bald is saying it's minimal difference between the CS and C2 if you're only going to get one Staccato, and if it's for EDC, CS is fine. But if you get more CS mags, are no good for the rest. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Haven't heard much about the El Paso Mall. I'm sure the gentleman was well aware of his situation. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're not going to hear about the good guys. At first, I don't know if y'all noticed this when that came out. At first, they said the police took him down or took him out. However, it wasn't. It was later discovered that it was a good guy with a gun. Brad is asking, how are you doing, Brad? Big J, will you be at the shooter social event next week at Texas Gun Experience? I very well might. I don't know yet. I do go up there quite a bit, but I might be there. If you're there, or if I'm there, please come by and say hi. I'd love to meet you in person. We got Tradbo in the house. How you doing, Uncle Dan? Better to be late than never. Let's see here. Also, what I wanted to get into is I had reached out to a company called Teslong. In my old world, excuse me, my old world as far as being a technician on automobiles and aviation. I actually owned a Borescope way back then when they were $2,000 and $3,000. I'm talking a long, long time ago. We all bought our own tools. I still have a lot of the tools. However, I sold that Borescope way back when. Um, but to going into barrels for rifles, pistols, etc. Because I've had a lot of people, oh, your barrels lead fouled on your Sig 322 and blah blah this and blah blah that. So I reached out to Teslong, spoke with their marketing director and everything, really nice guy, and told him what I wanted to do as far as checking, rifles, pistols, things like that. Um, and they were gracious enough to send in a borescope. I've got one. There's two versions that they sent me. One actually has a really nice monitor. I mean, it is really nice, super crisp, super clear. So I've got one with a monitor. It's an NTG 500. And then they sent me another version that's an NTG 100 that you could use with an Android phone. I don't have an Android phone, so I'm dominantly going to be using the monitor. But I have already been playing with it quite a bit. So I have a video. If y'all want to see it, let me know. But it's kind of going over the unit, how to use it, and then I actually use it on a pistol. So let me know if you want to see that. I was thinking about putting it out on Friday. So let me know if you're excited about seeing that. But and then also I'm going to use this borescope, for some home repairs. I'm going to be fishing some lines through the walls, so that way I can, put the borescope down through the wall and see what I'm getting into, just to make sure, I'm going to be hanging some stuff, doing some stuff like that. So, borescopes are great for going into the dashboard of your car or truck. If you're like you've got, and some people might not know what this is, but they're called blend doors. You have, your dash and everything, and you have your AC and heat selector. Okay, inside your dashboard, you have what are called blend doors. So it's an electronic door. When you put it on heat, it opens and closes the cool air off so the heat can come through. And then the opposite of when you turn the cold on, the blend door opens. And in some dashes, you have multiple blend doors, especially on mine where I can run AC on my side. The passenger can run heat. It's dual climate controlled. Some have it for the front, the rear, etc. But you can go through the dashboard with these and you can actually inspect blend doors. If you've got a ratcheting noise, like if you've ever heard this when you go to turn on your AC and you hear a tick, 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 it's usually a stuck blend door, the gear's broken. So that's what I used to use these for. Also to go into engine heads. You can actually go in and check out valves. If you have the piston at top dead center, you can check the very top of the piston. If it's low, you can check the bore and the scratches on the side of the cylinders. The old one that I used to have would go in and then you could actually angle the camera left and right. This particular one, you can't do that, but it is still pretty awesome. So, if y'all want to see that, let me know. I kind of go into some detail of how to use it. I'm very familiar with them. I wasn't super familiar with this unit, but it really transposes over to the old ones I used to use. But I will say this: the old units that I used to have that were $2,000 and $3,000 that were 20 years ago, this unit is a quarter of the price. I mean, not even a quarter, really. And it is so much better. I mean, you're talking about old technology versus new technology, and it's pretty impressive how detailed these things are. So, excuse me, if you want to see that, let me know, and I'll put that video out so you can check it out. But I think it's pretty damn interesting. Let's see here. Let me catch back up. Keep your dogs away from Bald and Curious. He'll just feed them chicken eggs. He's got 9,000 chicken eggs. Yes, show the video. That sounds cool. I'd like to see the video. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, Floridian. Same process. You're exactly right. I've never used it on a human. Um, but I used them on jet engines. You know, I'd go through the turbine, the front of it. I could check turbine blades, see if there was any damage. I could check bearings. There's a lot of stuff you can do with them. And like I said, even for like home repair, plumbing, you can stick them down sinks. You can see what your pipes look like, especially like Bald and Curious. You know, he could check out stuff like that. You know, before he caps something, you can see if somebody stuck, you know, paper down it or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of information you can get from those. Hello, Casey. How are you doing? So I will put that out. It's about, just to let you know, it's about 17 minutes long, but it's pretty detailed, but it really kind of shows you what it can do. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's kind of a box opening and then how to use it. I show examples of it. So you'll get to see the monitor, everything, the camera. You can actually dim the light, brighten the light. It's got like 3 or 4 settings on it. It's actually pretty damn cool. Yeah. It probably is very similar to that. And the neat thing is I've got mirrors where I can go from a 22 all the way up to, I think it in the other thing I've got it to where I can go up to, I think, a 30 cal. Um, you know, I've got 9 millimeter, 243, 40 cal, 30 cal, but you know, it'll do pretty much everything as far as rifles and pistols that I need it for. But I do want to check some other stuff with it. Okay, Floridian is a biomedical engineering. That's awesome, man. It's a borescope, Casey. I'll have the video. I'll put the video out on Friday, but it's a borescope where you can actually see inside of engines, rifles, things like that. Hello, KO4. Hello, Big J. Finally made it on your chat this week. Been working late. The real estate world is challenging today. Man, I get it. It's definitely. I can definitely feel for you, man. Hopefully, you're doing well. I know it is crazy times right now. Bald, do not put that up on your channel. Nobody wants to see that. If you go get your little rear checked, we don't want to play with that. But yeah, like I said, I was saying earlier, I did put the one of the revolvers up on the channel because people are like, I've said I have a revolver. They're like, you don't have revolvers. I'm like, yeah, I do. There's a lot of stuff that I have that I don't show, but I was like, I'll show you one of them. So, um, but it just, what's really funny is when I was playing with it that day because I haven't played with that thing in, God, man, a thousand years. But gripping it the correct way so I don't blow my thumb off. Uh, but it's just so weird how the grips are, and like some people get Glock knuckle. If you've shot a lot of Glocks, you'll get what's called Glock knuckle. You can look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But on this particular revolver that I have, that's one of the things. I shot it a lot when I was younger. Had my hands weren't as big as they are now. Um, it's super uncomfortable under that trigger guard for my hands now, as big as they are. But I was just holding it, and I was like, man, it's just weird how the grips are so much more different than a semi-auto. But it is what it is. Also, I don't know if you noticed the hammer on that one. That one has a what is it called? That one's had a little Smith and Wesson work done to it. I'm not going to get deep into it, but that revolver it's a 1989 revolver, and it's had some Smith and Wesson custom work on it prior to them even having the Smith and Wesson performance shop. Okay, they haven't had the performance shop. They've had it long, but not all the way back to '89. But if you look at the hammer, you'll notice when I pull the hammer back. That's one reason and I'm only sharing this with y'all, but that's one of the reasons the reason I pulled the hammer back. Look at the hammer and kind of look at the color of it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Kind of has a Damascus look. So the hammer's had some work done on it. Yeah, I have the stock grips on it. Those were the upgraded grips when you ordered it. So those were their, you know, combat performance grips back in the day. If you'll notice, those are the same grips that I have on my 439 from Smith and Wesson, my 1986 model. William Bader, we used borescopes at Rocketdyne on the space shuttle main engines. Yeah, I've actually, well, I've worked a little bit with that. Let's just put it that way. Kennedy Space Center. Can't get into it in detail, but I did a little bit of that too. I'm an A&P, if you know what that means, and I bet William you do. You do. I still have my A&P license, and I was an IA, if you know what that means, William. I'm sure you probably do. I just don't have my IA certification anymore because I didn't upkeep it, but of course I still have my A&P. Yeah, Dennis, it was a short, but that's one reason I pulled the hammer back so you could see it. Yeah, that's that the only thing about that the single action is really nice. Double action's a little hefty on it, but the main thing about that it has a special coated hammer. Let's put it that way. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Lake Ozark. It's in a short. It's on one of my shorts, so you can just go into shorts and pull it up there. Yeah, the stock grips on those kind of suck. I mean, they work, but they're just not. But I really don't want to put pack Myers or Hogs or anything on that. Anything like that. Allergies are getting me. Man, I was outside today. Whew, there's all kinds of stuff flying around, and I noticed my eyes were watering outside and all that. So getting a little choked up. I'm not crying, I promise. Yeah, I used to shoot a lot of revolvers way back in the day. Carl Nil grips. I've never tried those, Pistol Pete. But I used Packmeyer's, Hogs, and all that back in the day. But and they feel better. But the only thing is when you used to carry a revolver, and I did back in the day, way back when the day, not that one, a different one. But when you put the Packmeyer's or the Hogs, the rubber type grips, when you go to draw it, like your shirt would hang on it because it's that rubberized, so your shirt would kind of stick to it a little bit. Um, and you could kind of tell sometimes when people were carrying guns. So I didn't really, before Texas had, open carry and stuff, I didn't really enjoy those Packmeyers because they were definitely sticky on your cotton shirts and stuff. The skeeters are getting bad. We haven't had any bad skeeters yet. I'm sure they're coming though. I mean, it's definitely getting warmer. And I know when you're out there hunting, Uncle Dan, they're definitely going to be out there. Oh, I had this question asked too. Thought it was kind of funny, and I thought I'd throw it out there and see what y'all thought about it. The person asked me if I believe in UFOs and ghosts. I was like, wow, it's the first time anybody's ever asked me that. But I want to get y'all's opinion. Do y'all believe in UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and do you believe in ghosts? Just to see what y'all say. Let's see here. Thoughts on carrying a less lethal, practical, not super modern semi auto that I can shoot well? Yeah, I mean, carrying a less practical, not super. I mean, there's all kinds of pistols out there. Whatever works for you that I can shoot well. I mean, that's going to vary with, if you're used to double action, single action. I mean, there's so many variables there. hand size comes into play. I mean, there's just tons of pistols out there. It doesn't have to be a super high end pistol. I agree with that. I would want something very reputable, and then I know that runs. But PO7s aren't expensive, PO1s, PCRs. There's so many different pistols out there and so many different options. Um, I don't care for the cars, PMC, PMRC, or whatever it's called, PMRs. Um, the triggers are shit. Um, I would have something with, if it's double action, single action, I would have something with at least a 6 pound double action. Anything over that, I'm just saying, if you have to shoot it one handed, it doesn't do well with sights. There's just so many options out there, Captain Phil. Yeah, Floridian, y'all should have already had that. I don't know why you don't. I just don't get that. Do not get that. uh, KO4 is saying UFO 100%. Ghost depends on if I've been drinking. I gotcha. Tradbo says I believe in Bigfoot. I thought you said goats. No, hell, there's goats everywhere, man. We used to have goats back in the day. Those little some bitches are mean. You ever been rammed by a goat? I mean, not a baby. The baby goats can get up under your kneecaps, but I'm talking those big boys. Man, I've been knocked on my ass by some of those big ones. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Definitely believe in aliens. They are wonderful politicians. Yeah, we have illegal aliens all over the place here in Texas. Dennis says, I think we can possibly be the only life in the universe. Yeah, those fainting goats. Yeah, they are pretty funny. We used to have some friends that had those fainting goats. Man, they're crazy. I mean, it's like they just get all stiff all of a sudden. What's up, Pranic? How are you, man? Pranic goes on and all my memes, he goes on and leaves some pretty funny comments. I always appreciate Pranic. He hits every one of those memes I throw out there. And man, I've had some butthurt people on those memes. Woo! I put out some memes the other day. Some people lose their mind, especially about the JB ones. When I put out one about JB, woo! Some of those leftists come out and get crazy, man. I don't remove any of the comments. I don't, I'll argue with them, but I don't remove any of the comments. So those comments you see are there. Now, some of them, those people will go back and remove their own comments because I've pretty much proven that they're imbeciles, but I leave them all up. I don't take them off. Floridian says ghost, spirits, yes, UFOs, questionable. My hot air balloon business is about to go bankrupt. Yeah, I put that meme out, and some people were like, what? Love Supernatural. Give me some of the toys from the Impala trunk. Yeah, KO4. That's what I was talking about. Fell up the steps. But there's another video where in the dark where they're landing and somebody falls down the stairs and they fall down pretty far. And in the dark, it looks like JB, but I don't know if it's proven to be him. But you can go on and look at that. When he landed there, somebody fell down the stairs, and there people have been saying it's him, but it's kind of hard to tell. Pistol Pete, you would be surprised. There's one guy you can go on and look. And I'll even say, man, what are you smoking and what rock did you climb out from under? Because he will defend him left and right. I have no idea. You'll see the person if you look at the comments. I can't remember his name, but I don't know what that guy is smoking. People get ratioed hard on the memes. Yeah, and I put them up because I don't care. I mean, people can get all pissed off or whatever. I enjoy them and I enjoy interacting with people, negative or positive. I don't give two craps. Y'all know me. If it hurts feelings, I don't care. Good thing about the stairs, if it was him, he can't remember it anyway. No, they probably gave him a shot, pumped him up, and kicked him out the door. Yeah, that man, I'm telling you what, I don't know what's going on with that. When it comes to UFOs and ghosts, um, you know, I worked in aviation. Y'all all know that. I've talked about it. I've been to Carswell in Fort Worth. I've been to New Mexico, Area 51. Um, I've seen some weird stuff. Um, I've never been up in a plane when I've seen anything, but I've seen some weird stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I can't prove it, but something's just not right. But here's the thing. Okay, a lot of people, here's the way I think about it from an aviation standpoint or, something. Okay. Or is everybody familiar with the SR-71 Blackbird? One of the fastest planes ever built. The thing is a beast. I have talked to pilots, personal pilots, who have flown it. They can't, it's a lot of it's classified. They can't tell me, but I'm like, okay, 2Gs, 3Gs, 4Gs, and they're doing this and doing this. And I'm like, whoa, I mean, that's fast, 5Gs. So that thing will fly. It's fast as shit. Everybody knows that who knows anything about the SR-71 Blackbird. They retired it. They retired the SR-71 Blackbird. So if you retire the SR-71 Blackbird, and of course we have stealth fighters, etc. However, they're fast, but they're not that fast. So if you retire something like that, what do you have that's better? So, and they're not going to tell us, but I guarantee you there's something out there and it could be ours or something else, but it's damn fast. So, and it's probably can do some shady shit. So, there's aircraft that y'all might not be familiar with that can hover like a helicopter. Um, Basically, the prop engine's turned down and it can sit there and hover. So it can just, you know, I mean, it can tilt. I've seen some stuff that's pretty crazy that it can do. Some of these planes can do that a lot of people don't know they can do. Um, and I even have some pictures of some kicking turbines. Basically, the engine is in a chamber, it's locked down, anchored down, and they're kicking that bad boy up to, they're pulling like 4 and 5 Gs out of that thing, and it's literally blowing a flame. I've got a stack of pictures. So we'll do a chat one night and I will hold up the pictures and actually let you see them. But it's blowing a flame out of the back of this thing, probably farther. I know it's at least one football field. It could be a football field and a half. But when this thing's cranked up, it is shooting a flame out of the back of that sucker. So, you know, and that was one of the older engines, not the newer engines. So there's some stuff out there that we don't know about. Could that be what some of these people are seeing? I don't know. There's something out there. So, friend or foe, I don't know that part. As far as ghost, um, I've experienced when I was younger. I experienced some weird stuff in my grandmother's house. Um, I'm not really like a ghost chaser. I don't know. I'm not really into the paranormal or whatever it's called. But I don't know. There, some of these things weren't right. They were, I can't explain them. Old home, but I don't know. So I've never physically seen one. I've just seen weird stuff happen. So I don't know. Who knows? Taylor Brown, is there any 1911 choices under $2,500 you like? Dan Weston, there's a bunch of them. I'm a big Dan Weston fan. They make really good 1911s if that's what you want. And they've got tons of options. And Pistol Pete has a really question. I'm sure he's probably into that. Depends on what you want for 1911 tactical or classic. The classics are cool, but I would definitely get something with a rail. So I would tend to lean. I own some of the classics, but I do try to modernize them, or like the tactical type to where you can put a light, maybe a dot, things like that. But Dan Wesson makes some really good stuff. Alchemy has nice pistols, but I've never personally shot one, but I hear really great things about them. I don't know if you could get an Alchemy for $2,500. I don't think you could. My dad worked on the XB-70 North American Aviation. That's cool. I remember when they released the 777. I was there in Seattle at Boeing, and they released opened the gates, and brought the 777 out, and that was really cool. I had worked on some of the Rolls Royce engines, the Pratt and Whitney JT8Ds, 15Ds, things like that. So I got to go down to the Boeing release of the 777. That was way back in the day, but that was really badass. Got to tour the plane, all that stuff. It was really cool. Hovering is one thing, but moving from point A to point B lightning fast is not a standard process from a turbine. Correct. I mean, turbines can move, but yeah, there's some crazy stuff. Bald and Curious says Ghost 100% real. Had them in my first house for sure. My son was only 1 year old and could hear him having conversations in his room. When I asked him, he said a nice lady was playing with him. That is weird because that actually happened to us too. I mean, not, well, put it this way, happened to our family. Um, and what's really weird is it seems to really happen a lot with children. And you're like, oh, he has an imaginary friend or she has an imaginary friend. Man, when you have full blown conversations with somebody and nobody's there and these kids are just talking to them like they know them, it's weird. And one, it was, who was it? It was my second cousin. They had a child. And what was really weird is the mother's brother had passed away in a car accident, and he had a nickname and all this other stuff they used to call him. Well, he passed away, and this kid wasn't even born. They never really talked about him anymore. This kid was having a conversation with him and was calling the kid, or excuse me, calling the person he was talking to by the nickname. He said, "Oh, he told me to call him Bubba or something. I can't remember the nickname. It's been so long ago." But the kid was actually saying that name out loud. And he's like, "Where?" She said, "Where did you hear that name?" And he said, "That's what he told him. That's what he told me to call him." I was like, "Whoa, man!" And I'm not joking. Look at this. I've got goosebumps right now. That's weird. Thoughts on the EOTech? Which EOTech? Are you talking about the pistol EOTech, or are you talking about the red dot? Um, or the which one are you talking about? I'm sure you're probably talking about the pistol one. I don't have any experience with it. I haven't personally seen one in person. My gun stores don't have them yet, but you know, my son flies the Predator built by Raytheon. That's awesome, man. Red rum, yeah. Whew. That's some weird stuff. Oh, he worked. Pranic says he worked on the F-22 for 25 years. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When I talked to some of these pilots and stuff, there's a lot of stuff they can't say, and it was crazy because I would have to do flight inspections. And here's the thing that y'all don't know: I used to work on military and civilian aircraft. I was not in the military. I was not. Never been in the military. However, I was working on military and civilian aircraft, and PDIs, complete teardowns, ABCD checks, etc. We were brought in as a crew and hired as contractors to do that. And I used to have to do air checks, so they would be in the cockpit. I would be trimming the idle, things like that, and we're talking on a radio with a headset. So I would say trim up, trim down, all of that stuff, and that's what they would do. And man, it was amazing some of the stories I heard. And they would say, "Yeah, we were flying, two of us in formation, something blew past us." I'm like, "What?" They said, "Yeah, we couldn't explain it." Um, some of the things went by. They couldn't even pick it up on radar, yet they both saw it. I was like, whoa. So I heard some weird stuff. I don't think they would lie about it, but I don't know. Big J Area 51. No, no, I don't want to do that. Lockheed. Yeah, I've been to Lockheed in Fort Worth. Worked down there many times. They're not even in business anymore, but I worked on Interturbine. I don't know if y'all have heard about that company, but I did some work for them too, and heard some pretty crazy stories from those guys. My stepdad, not me, the declassified stuff is all that he told me. Yeah. So I'm saying there's a lot of stuff that they couldn't talk about. And they would actually tell me, hey, I can't talk about that. I was like, wow. But sometimes, like, after we would finish, working on planes and stuff, we would, maybe have some drinks or stuff at the local bar. And that's when some of these guys, if they had a couple of drinks, they would tell us some stuff. And I'm like, okay, has this guy been drinking too much or is he telling us the truth? It was just crazy, some of the stuff I heard. But I will pull up those pictures. I will find those pictures. I've got stacks of them. And I will show you these things when they're completely tooled up and spooled up. I'm not joking. The flame out of the back of this thing is insane. There are some, and y'all have probably heard me talk about where we had to do failure checks, where we had to throw frozen Cornish hens, frozen chickens, frozen geese, frozen turkeys through the engines to see if the turbine blades could handle it. And that's when we're running them up in the rev deck, is what we called it. But it's basically where you take the engine off of the plane or out of the plane and you locate it on hangers so it can flex. So the engine's just hanging there and you're spooling that bad boy up from inside of a room. And it does have lead walls, steel walls. So if anything blows, um, you're not going to hit by shrapnel. But the pictures I was taking, I was way back and you can see the flames shooting out of the back of the open door. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think you'll really like these pictures. I know, I think I know where they are. I have them in one of my toolboxes because I got stacks of them, and I'll just kind of go through some of them and show them up on the chat. And they're the old pictures, where you took with a camera. So this is way back in the day. Floridian says, "Are you more into aviation or autos?" Definitely automobiles. Planes are cool; they're fun, but I'm a diehard car guy, truck guy. So I mean, I was working on cars, shit, and trucks when I was like 10 years old. We're not working on planes then. I started working on planes in 1991. Uh, have a degree in aerospace, blah blah blah. Uh, so from 91, how long did I work on planes? 6 years. Have an A&P rating. Also have an IA or had an IA rating. Like I said, I did not keep up with it. You have to be uh, updated every year, so I did not. But in cars, I had my ASA or ASE certifications in engine, suspension, electrical. I had it in transmission, but I didn't build transmissions. Um, I mean, I was a master super tech with Mopar. You can look up master super tech. That's as high as you could go. Uh, However, on those certifications, you do have to upkeep those. I do not have those anymore. I mean, I could probably take a test and get them again, but I don't have any reason to. But yeah, definitely a diehard old school horsepower guy. Raced cars, I'll pull up some racing pictures. I'll probably pull up some of those and show them to you. I don't own the race cars anymore. I sold them all off because of insurance. Anytime you up your policy to a certain amount, y'all probably know the amount. Your life insurance, it's counted as extreme sports. So they won't insure you if you race cars. I did not do like Indy or any of that kind of stuff. This was an HRA stuff, quarter mile stuff. That's what I was into. Did a little SCCA, but that really wasn't my gig. The cars were too freaking small for my big ass to fit into. Hello, Abigail. I just ran a couple of cars in that. They were buddies' cars, and I was like, hey, I've never done this before. So jumped in it and did it a couple of little races. Again, they were not my cars, not the SCCA cars. Quarter mile cars, I had a 71 CUDA. I had a 69 Olds Hurst 442. First, that car was just a classic, all not really OE, but it was an original car. And then I tubbed it and quarter miled it. The 71 CUDA was just a body. That was strictly for quarter mile. Matter of fact, it looked like a CUDA, but it wasn't the CUDA. My dream car was like the Nash Bridges 71 CUDA. So that's one reason I found this car and bought it. But it was strictly a street car. Strictly a track car, not a street car. I would love to have one with a 440 that was a street car. That would be incredible. But no, I never did anything in the oil. I used to sell to a lot of the refinery guys and stuff like that, but they have turbines in the oil fields, but I didn't service them or work on any of that kind of stuff. I knew a lot of people that were oil guys. I have, if you've been following me forever, I've gone out to some of our property. Well, put it this way. We don't have the property anymore, but we have all the mineral rights. And I have filmed some of the rigs that are out there on the land. But again, it's not our land. I just own the mineral rights out there. Oil, gas, etc., but it doesn't pay shit anymore like it used to back in the day. I have sat in a Miata. That's funny that you said that, Pranic. One of my buddies in SCCA, he had a Miata. He had the convertible Miata. I sat in it, put the seat back as far as I could. The steering wheel was literally, my knees were touching the 3 o'clock and the 6 o'clock on the steering wheel. My head was above the dashboard or the windshield. Here's the windshield. My head was this far out of the top. Luckily, it was a convertible, but cars are way too freaking small. That's funny, Bald. I actually raced slot cars when I was a little kid. I used to go to a hobby shop down the street from our house and take my little slot cars, and they had these huge track, and I used to do the slot car races. That's funny that you said that. Abigail said I raced on the streets, mainly in the Mustang I had. Yes, I did a lot of that in Mexico. If y'all are familiar with Dallas, there is a street called Minana. It is actually called Minana. A lot of that happened there before they built the speed bumps. They put speed bumps all down that street, and there was a reason they did. But that was the spot where we used to run cars. I had a 70 Chevelle 454. I had a Conquest TSI that was dual intercooled, dual turboed. It was a very, very fast car. Had buddies that had the Talon four-wheel or all-wheel drives back in the day. The Talon Eclipse, I guess, Mitsubishi Talons. Kind of like the Fast and the Furious cars. I was more into domestics, but when I got that Mitsubishi, that thing was, I've tricked that out pretty damn fast. Took the wastegates out of it. It was really damn fast. But yeah, we had a good time out there. Yellow Belly Speedway. If y'all want to look that up, they still run out there. I used to run at Yellow Belly Speedway, but when I did an NHRA, it was out in Ennis. At Texas Motor, or not Texas Motor Speedway. It was in Ennis. God, what was the name of that track? Shit. Drawing a blank. But I used to run at Ennis when I did the NHRA stuff. And my cars were NHRA approved. So I had the roll bars, had all the stuff in it. TSI Talon, yeah. Chevelle was an awesome car. When I got into the old classic cars, there were only certain cars I could fit in. just because of my height. Um, so, a car that, and I'll pull up some pictures of it so y'all can see it. Just got rid of my dad's car, gosh, 2 years ago. It was a 1970 Charger 440, plum crazy purple, all original. In the United States, and this car was certified. And what I mean by certified, it had the original ride height, the original door gaps. Everything was measured, mic'd, everything, all OE, the data card, original window sticker, the whole works. So it was a ground up restoration. I did some of it. There were only two of these cars in the United States that met this criteria. It's been in many, many magazines. Y'all could probably go in and find it. I'm not going to say his name and all of that stuff, but it was world known. Beautiful car. Sold it. My father's getting older. Has some medical, stuff. I'll just be honest with you. Has a little bit of Alzheimer's, some dementia going on. So we did get rid of that. But it was a beautiful car. But honestly, as big as I am, 6'3", I couldn't fit in it very well. He's like, "This is yours," and I'm like, "You need to keep the money." I couldn't get in the car. It was just too small. But I love the car. Beautiful car. Texican Racing League, yeah. Big J, you wouldn't fit in a Hurricane Performance Spider. I've never sat in one. I'm 6'2", and my head hits the roof, and top down, I could see over the windscreen. Yeah. One of the fastest street cars I've ever been in was a Dodge Viper. This was not, it was an ACR. If y'all look way back when, I've got pictures of it. It's a white ACR with white stripes, or excuse me, black stripes, white with black stripes, black wheels. That's one of the fastest, uh, I guess you could say, factory type cars, not muscle horsepower cars that were built. This one had a lot of work done to it too. A lot of it was done by Hennessy, but that is one of the fastest cars I've personally been in on the streets, non-electric car. I've been in some fast electric cars, not driven, ridden, but that ACR was pretty freaking incredible. Big J, this is the life video with all these pics in their areas running down memory lane. That would be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that. That's actually a great idea, Floridian. Maybe I'll do that. Hell, I've got pictures I could show y'all where I'm building some cars. Some of the cars I had where I'm actually out there building them. That's one of the things I said, and I've told Harry this and some of my buddies. I'm like, man, if I would have started YouTube back when I was building engines and tricking out these race cars and where I was racing, man, I'd probably have 5 or 6 million subscribers. Because I look at some of these channels and I'm just like, holy crap, I used to do all that stuff. Not like exotic cars and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. But man, if I would have started a channel way back in the day, that would have been pretty damn cool. We even built, I think I've got pictures of it too. I think I've told this story before. Well, I've built custom Vegas with short block 350s in them. For quarter mile cars, I built a Ford Pinto with a 302 Boss in it. It wasn't mine. I helped another guy build it for quarter mile. This is a Pinto. I even have a tricked out Ford Maverick. Just crazy crap you don't think people would ever race. Now, of course, the Vega was completely stripped and gutted. It was just a Vega shell. It was the station wagon Vega, if y'all remember those. The thing was fast as snot. Man, it was so fast. Hey, Clyde, how are you, buddy? Fastest stock car I've ever been in is a Ferrari SF90, fastest modified Huracan twin turbo from Underground Racing. Man, that's sweet. You know what's funny? As I've never actually ridden in a Ferrari. Never. I've been in some Porsches, but never been in a Ferrari. I've never driven one or even ridden in one. I've seen them, just never been in one. But all right, it is 8:04. Man, I appreciate this. It was fun to kind of go down a memory lane, but back to the situational awareness. Everybody, keep your head on a swivel. Please preach to your kids to be aware of their surroundings. Put down the damn phone. Not get ran over by a car or abducted when they're walking out to their car, or carjacked or something stupid. Just be aware of the situation. I mean, I preach to my kiddo. I'm just like, just pay attention to what you're doing. And it's hard for the younger generation. I get it, but when you get in the car, you're locked up, whatever. Then do what you need to do on your phone, but just be aware of what's going on. Just in case anybody was curious, job update. Nothing locked down for sure yet. Did have a really great interview last week. Got a call back this Friday, so hopefully that pops off. I think that would be a really great opportunity. Running into a lot of just companies are wanting to hire people, but they just don't have the money. It's not in their budget right now. Running into a lot of that. I think I talked about that a little bit last week. It's just a weird time right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, and some companies, for the higher management type positions, some are just very weary right now. So that is what I'm running into. A lot of them are like, hey, we'd love to hire you, but we're having a hiring freeze, or your salary's not in the budget right this second, blah blah blah. So that's kind of what I'm running into, but we'll get something locked down, and I appreciate the thought and prayers, and I hope everything is going well for you with your families. They all stay safe and well, and love one another. Tell everyone that you love them. You just never know. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Be safe out there. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Take care, everyone. Thanks.